Chinese triad killed his partner, who was also his best friend. So, he furiously set out for despicable revenge. But on that particular day, Chinese mafia boss shocked him by disclosing the reality. Welcome back to Paramount Recaps. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. The whole thing kicks off in San Francisco, where FBI agents John Crawford and Tom Lone are hanging out at a warehouse dock. You'd think they'd jump into action with bullets flying everywhere, but nope, they're chilling while the Chinese triads are in a full-blown shootout with another crew. It's like they're at a fireworks show, except way more dangerous. Crawford's pretty ticked off about 2 years of undercover work going down the drain in a matter of minutes. They finally decide to get off the sidelines and start shooting back. Better late than never, right? They walk into a scene straight out of a video game, bodies on the ground and gunfire all around. Crawford spots a bullet, gets a little nervous. Who wouldn't? And before he can even process it, Tom's already mid-fight, like he's auditioning for the next John Wick. Crawford joins him, just in time to see a guy take out another man. But before he can do anything, the shooter bolts. Tom drops another target like it's no big deal, while Crawford's wandering around, and yep, he gets shot in the shoulder. Things get serious when Crawford's life flashes before his eyes. But right as he's about to meet his end, someone takes out the guy aiming at him. Talk about timing. After the fight, Crawford tells Tom that the Yakuza hired a freelance hitman to take out the triads. The plot twist? The same hitman, Rogue, also worked for the CIA, but turned on them, killing 5 agents. Sounds like Rogue has some serious trust issues. Crawford shows off Rogue's signature titanium bullet casings like they're collector's items. And just as the cops arrive, the duo flashes their badges like they're getting VIP access to a concert. Fast forward a couple of days, and Tom's at home when his wife hands him the phone. It's Crawford, casually saying he'll be late to watch the game. But as soon as they hang up, a car pulls up outside, and things get real dark real fast. A man with a gun bursts into the house like he's late for a meeting, wrestles Tom's wife to the ground, and shoots Tom in the face. If that's not enough, he throws Tom's entire family into a room and kills them all before setting the house on fire. If this guy wanted to win worst house guest ever, mission accomplished. Crawford wakes up to his wife telling him about the police activity, so he rushes over, flashing his badge like it's his all-access pass. He learns there are 3 fatalities. Inside, he spots Tom's body and almost loses his lunch. While he's looking for clues, he finds the same bullet casing from the dock shootout. At this point, he's probably wishing he'd gone into a less stressful line of work like knitting. 3 years later, Rogue shows up at a club in a super fancy car. You know it's serious when the guy's got VIP access and doesn't even stop for a drink. He strolls past the guards and slices them up like he's at a sushi bar, then starts taking out Yakuza members left and right. At one point, a guy checks to see if Rogue's still alive, only to get blown up by a dog with a bomb strapped to it. Note to self, never trust dogs in this movie. The scene's a mess by the time the police show up. Crawford, now working with another agent named Wick. Nope, not that Wick gets to work. The lone survivor is in such bad shape, he's probably rethinking all his life choices. He confirms it was Rogue behind the explosion, and Crawford spirals into another one of his nightmares. Because hey, who doesn't love a good demonic dream after a long day at work? Crawford wakes up to a phone call from his wife, Jenny, who wants him to go to their son's basketball game. But when Crawford says he's found Tom's killer, Jenny shuts him down faster than a bad Wi-Fi connection, saying his obsession with Rogue has cost them their marriage. Talk about a brutal hang-up. Crawford heads to the FBI HQ, where the team, including a sniper named Jack and a member named Maria, digs into the case. They figure out that Rogue double-crossed the Yakuza and their boss, Shiro, who's not going to be winning any Employer of the Year awards. Rogue, stuck between the Yakuza and the Triads, led by the terrifying Chong, gears up and heads to California. When he gets to Chong's mansion, Chong introduces his wife like they're at a dinner party, congratulates Rogue on his latest kills, and talks about loyalty. Rogue? He makes it clear he's not exactly the team player type. Meanwhile, back in Japan, Shiro is sword fighting with one of his men. The guy accidentally strikes Shiro, apologizes, and gets taken out like he just failed a big test. Shiro's not messing around, and he mentions some horses being shipped to San Francisco, because apparently, when you're a crime lord, you can't just order stuff off Amazon. Crawford, now in full detective mode, visits an underground fight club to meet with Benny, a guy who seems to know more about Rogues Benny reveals that a bunch of people connected to Rogue's new identity, including a bullet maker and some surgeons, are mysteriously dead. Go figure. Meanwhile, the triads are loading trucks with what they're calling horses. Turns out, they're not the four-legged kind, but pure gold. A heist goes down, and Rogue is there watching it all unfold like a reality TV show. The FBI and Crawford roll up to the dock, and Crawford realizes it's a massive heist. He also knows there's only one thing that could get the Yakuza to leave their cars without a fight: fake cops. The next day, Crawford finds a corrupt police captain, gives him a beating in the bathroom. Nothing says good cop, bad cop like a bathroom brawl, and gets the guy to confess that he was blackmailed. Just as they're escorting the captain outside, he gets shot, and Rogue makes a break. Crawford chases after him like he's in a parkour competition, but Rogue disappears faster than a magician's rabbit. Later, Crawford gets a mysterious call from Rogue, who gives him the location of the stolen goods. When the FBI raids Chong's warehouse, they find Rogue, now using the name Victor Shaw. Crawford recognizes him, but can't arrest him. Rogue leaves. While back at Chong's mansion, the crime boss applauds Rogue for outsmarting the cops, though he has no idea Rogue is the one who tipped them off. And that's the wild ride so far. Let's just say, Rogue isn't the kind of guy you want showing up to your next family barbecue. Late that night in the Triad district, a Yakuza biker rolls up to the Triads, causing a scene big enough to grab everyone's attention. The driver, cloaked in mystery, lures the Triads into the Yakuza's territory. As soon as they cross the line, chaos erupts. Both sides waste no time tearing into each other. Rogue watches from a distance, enjoying the chaos. After a bit, he joins the fight, cornering the last triad. He plays with his target for a while, but eventually finishes him off. The next day, the FBI arrives to see the aftermath of the massacre. It's clear that this is only the beginning. War is on the horizon. Meanwhile, Chong, the triad leader, tells his men to stand down. Retaliating could cost them everything. He instructs Rogue to ensure his wife and daughter stay safe during the brewing conflict. Rogue approaches Chong's second-in-command, who happens to be the brother of the man he killed earlier, and hands him a matchbox with the location of a Yakuza safe house. At this safe house, the FBI is already watching as the Yakuza hold a meeting, unaware they're being watched. Laughter and banter fill the room until the Triads, ignoring Chong's orders, barge in and start slaughtering everyone. They shoot through the thin paper walls, wiping out most of the Yakuza. The shootout intensifies as more Yakuza members arrive, engaging in a firefight with the FBI. In the chaos, the Yakuza and Triads keep shooting until all the Yakuza inside are dead. Crawford and Wick storm into the scene, quickly putting the remaining Triads at gunpoint. Just when it seems like the FBI has the upper hand, Rogue slips in and takes out the Triads one by one, giving the survivors a chance to escape. Amid the confusion, Maria makes a run for it. Wick gets shot, and Crawford is left fending off multiple attackers. He kills the last injured Yakuza member and rushes outside, just in time to see Rogue speeding off in his car. A wild car chase ensues, but it ends when Crawford's vehicle crashes, giving Rogue the chance to escape. The following day, Rogue contacts Chong, informing him that his men disobeyed orders and paid the price. Rogue claims he tried to stop them, but there was little he could do. Soon after, Rogue receives orders to kill Chong, along with his wife and daughter. Though reluctant, he agrees. Meanwhile, Jenny confronts Crawford about the increasing number of armed men outside her house, warning him that his obsession with Rogue is going to get them all killed. Benny calls Crawford, saying they've located the third plastic surgeon in Mexico. Within hours, they find and corner the surgeon, who admits he rebuilt Rogue's face after it was severely damaged, confirming that Rogue's current appearance is the result of major reconstruction. Back at Chong's mansion, Chong is preparing his family to flee when a ninja-like assassin sneaks onto the property. As Chong is packing up, his right-hand man bursts in, accusing him of being a traitor before opening fire. The two exchange shots until Rogue arrives and subdues the traitor. Chong tries to defend his loyalty, but Rogue coldly puts a bullet in. At the same time, Yakuza soldiers storm the mansion and kill all the guards. Rogue finds Chong's wife and daughter, but instead of killing them, he spares their lives, fulfilling a promise he made early. He helps them escape, keeping his word. Crawford, meanwhile, learns that Rogue is manipulating the Yakuza and Triads to destroy each other. Things escalate when Shiro, a major Yakuza figure, arrives in town and orders his daughter to return to Japan. Crawford confronts Shiro, showing him pictures of Rogue killing his fellow Yakuza members. Shiro plays dumb, and Crawford leaves, unable to pin anything on him. The next day, Rogue meets with Shiro, bringing him the golden horses. Shiro, in turn, hands Rogue a briefcase filled with cash and documents detailing his betrayal. But as Shiro examines the golden horses, he realizes they're fake. A fight breaks out, and Rogue manages to take down Shiro's men. A bomb goes off, incapacitating Shiro, and Rogue eliminates the remaining guards with ease. Shiro grabs a katana, and Rogue picks up his own, confronting Shiro for ordering a hit 3 years ago. They engage in a brutal duel, with Rogue overpowering Shiro. Rogue reveals that he is actually Tom, the man Shiro tried to kill. Tom had survived and changed his identity, all to get revenge on Shiro. He finishes Shiro off, declaring that he should have left his family alone. Later, Chang's wife receives a package with a note telling her to start a new life, along with one of the golden horses. Similarly, Kira receives a similar package, but when she opens it and sees her father's remains, she is left in shock. Tom, still in his rogue persona, calls Crawford, telling him to meet at the place where their paths first crossed. Crawford arrives, but Rogue disarms him, leading to a fierce hand-to-hand fight. During the struggle, Crawford realizes that Rogue is his old friend Tom. The two crash through a window, and as Tom is about to be shot by a sniper, Crawford jumps in the way, sacrificing himself to save his friend. With Crawford gone, Tom gets into his car with the last golden horse and drives off, disappearing into the horizon.